Now look at the first question. What is the average invalid votes for village A for the given years? What is the average invalid votes for village A for the given years? See, from the data it's very clear. Total votes have been given to you 2,500. Valid votes are 2,250. What will be invalid votes? Invalid votes will be the difference between these two numbers, right? So invalid votes in 2000 for village A is going to be what? 250, right? Similarly, invalid votes in 2005. The total votes are 3,800, of which valid are only 3,250. So what is the number of invalid votes? 3,800 minus 3,250, which is 550. And then for the last year, similarly, 3,400 minus 3,000 is 400. Now sum this up, it will give you the total number of invalid votes, right? These three values on addition, on summing up, will give you the total number of invalid votes. So once we get the total number of invalid votes, divided by 3 to get the average invalid votes. As simple as that. So 250 and 550 is 800. 800 plus 400 is 1200. 1200 upon 3 is 400. So that's your answer. I think a very simple question. It shouldn't take more than 15 seconds for you to arrive at the answer in the exam. Let me present the next one to you all now. Here's the next question. What does it say? If total votes polled in village B in the year 2000, 25% are polled by females and total valid female votes are 1875, then find the number of valid votes polled by males. So this is an interesting one. It says out of the total votes which have been cast in the village B in year 2000, 25% were by females. 25% were polled by females. And the total valid female votes are 1875. Valid votes which have been cast by females are 1875. Then find the number of valid votes polled by males. So interesting one there. Should not take more than 30 seconds. Your clock starts now. Let's see how many of you get the right answer. See, questions are all very simple. Like I said, time management is really very important. So you have 35 questions on quantitative aptitude, and I think you cannot spend more than 20 to 23 minutes, about 22 to 23 minutes in the exam for answering these 35 questions, right? Because there are other sections which you need to cover up in those 60 minutes, reasoning and English language. Okay, Kulvinder Saini is the first one to respond. He has got the answer as option 5, 5725, 5725. Waiting for more responses before we take it up. Yeah, we have Abhirami here who says, I want to share one thing. I followed your words due to sudden unexpected bad things happened to me before the exam and I could not practice more, but calm mind helped me do the exam at moderate level. Well, I think thanks for that feedback, Anu. Yeah, like I say, it's important that you keep yourselves calm and composed before the exam so that you can give your best. Just practicing alone is not going to help you. So good to hear that, and I'm sure others will follow the same strategy for their exams. Now a lot of answers have come in. 5725 is the most common response here. Rohit Gupta, Akhil Reddy, Pragnya, Rahul, Shailend, Minal, and Sridhar Rao, Mayur, all of you have got 5725. I see Venkatesh who has got 5675, which is option 1. So there's some difference in the responses here. Let's quickly solve this and see what the correct answer is. All right. So what does it say? If the total votes polled in village B in the year 2000, 25% were polled by females. So total votes of village B in 2000. So total of village B in 2000 is how much? 8,000, right? Out of these 8,000, it says 25% were by females. See, these are total votes. 25% are by females. What is 25% of 8,000? 25% of 8,000 is 1/4 of 8,000. 1/4 of 8,000 is 2,000. You don't have to really put these numbers on paper, right? I mean, you can do this calculation mentally. 25% is 2,000. So 2,000 were polled by females, and the total valid female votes are 1875. Total valid female votes are 1875. Then find the number of valid votes polled by males. Well, I think we don't really have to find out what is 25% of 8,000 at all, because what do we know? I know that in village B, the total number of valid votes in the year 2000 were 7,600. Out of the 7,600, he says 1875 were from females. So how many will be from males? The remaining will be from males. 7,600 minus 1875. So we don't even have to spend that 1 second calculating 25% of 8,000, right? There's a waste of time, not needed. Simple answer is 7,600 minus 1875, right? Total value of 7,600, of which 1875 have come from females. So the rest will be coming from males, obviously. 7,600 minus 1875. Now the question is, how do you take the difference? Would you do this in the exam? 7,600 minus 1875. If this is how you are going to calculate, then you are not fit for the exam. 10, 9, 10, 10 minus 5, 5, 9 minus 7 is 2, 5 minus 8 is not possible. So this is 6, 15 minus 8 is 7, and 6 minus 1 is 5. 5725. Right. Absolutely right. 5725 is the number of valid votes from males. But if this is how you have arrived at the answer, then you have lost the race already. You are not fit for the exam. Remember, this is what kills your time. Right? The questions are not difficult. We make it difficult and lengthy and time consuming by doing all these, by following all these lengthy methods in the exam. You should be able to calculate the difference between 7,600 and 1875 mentally in just about 3 seconds. How do you do? The easiest way to calculate is, see, I'm writing it here on paper so that I can explain it to you, but you can do it mentally. Do not subtract 1875. Don't try to subtract 1875. Subtracting 1875 is difficult. What is easy to subtract is 2000. See, 1875 is close to 2000, right? So instead of subtracting 1875, subtract 2000. 7,600 minus 2000. 7,600 minus 2000 is how much? 7,600 minus 2000. It is 5,600. 5,600. You also know that the answer should be more than 5,600. How much more than 5,600? See, we have subtracted 2000. We were supposed to subtract only 1875. So how much more have we subtracted? 125 more has been subtracted. You understand? Basically, we are splitting 1875 as 2000 minus 125. While this may appear to be a lengthy process, when you do it mentally after practicing enough, it becomes a lot easier. So don't subtract 1875, subtract 2000 and then add 125, then add 125 because you have subtracted 125 more, add 125. So 7,600 minus 2000 is 5,600 plus 125 is 5,725, option 5. Right? Option 5, 5725 would be the final answer. All right. Next one. What is the average of valid vote poll in the year 2000? Now this is like a sitter, right? It should not take more than 10 seconds for you to arrive at the answer. Average of valid votes in the year 2000. So valid votes in 2000, 2250, 7600, 4250. Now how quickly do you add these values and then divide by 3 to get the answer is what matters here, right? Now a smart person will not add 2250 to 7600. A smart person will first add these two values. Why? He will get a round figure. See, 250 and 250 will make it 500. So that's the idea. See, these things play a key role. If you really ask me, knowing a shortcut is not important. How quickly do you work on these numbers is important. I can add 2250 to 7600 also, not a problem. But adding 2250 to 4250 will be much faster. And then adding that result to 7600 will be, much easier, right? So 2250 plus 4250. 4,000 and 2,000 is 6,000. 250 and 250 is 500. 6,500. 6,500 plus 7,600. How do you add? Don't put it on paper, right? This is 6,500. 6,500 and 7,600. 6,000 and 7,000 is 13,000. 500 and 600 is 1100. 13,000 and 1100 is 14,100. So your answer should be 14,100 divided by 3. He's asking us to find out the average, right? So for three villages, so divide by 3. Now again, do not start doing it on paper, right? Split and merge is the most important technique. Whether you're doing additions or subtractions or multiplications or divisions, I think split and merge plays a key role. If you are a master of this technique, you can do your calculations really quick. What do? I'll break 14,100 in such a way that it becomes easier for me to divide by 3. See, as such, you can divide this value also by 3 directly, not a problem. But if at all you're not able to do, which I'm sure is the most common problem with most of us, then you divide, then you split. How do you split it? 14,100 is not 14,100. It is 12,000 plus 2,100. Now, why am I taking it as 12,000 plus 2,100? Why not 13,000 plus 1,100? Because 13,000 is not a multiple of 3. 12,000 is a multiple of 3. 13,000 is not a multiple of 3. Why am I not taking it as 14,000 plus 100? Because 14,000 cannot be divided by 3 easily. 12,000 can be divided by 3 easily. And then there is a balance value. So 12,000 by 3. Now what happens is 14,100 by 3 becomes 12,000 by 3 plus 2,100 by 3. All this has to be done mentally. I am putting it up so that I can explain it to you, right? You have to do it mentally. 12,000 by 3 is 4,000 plus 2,100 by 3. Luckily, 2100 is also a multiple of 3 here. So 2100 by 3 is 700. So 4000 plus 700, 4700. Option 4 will be the answer. You getting it? I think some of you have marked 4750. Madhusudan has marked 4750, which is incorrect. 4700 is the correct answer. So definitely an easy one, but how quickly do you solve is the point. And I think if you see, all the questions that we have solved so far are just based on calculations. Quickly pick up the values, relevant values, and do whatever calculation needs to be done there. Look at the next one. Total votes of village A in 2000 is what percent of valid votes polled in village C in 2010? Now this is one of the most commonly asked questions from percentages. You know, the format here is X is what percent of Y. The most common question from percentages. X is what percent of Y. See, look at this. Is what percent of this phrase is very important. Whatever on the left hand side, total votes of village A in 2000 is what percent of valid votes of C in 2010. So X is like total votes of A in 2000. Y is like valid votes of C in 2010. In between, anyway, we have is what percent of Y. What's the result, by the way? X is what percent of Y? X upon Y into 100. X by Y into 100. Very, very common question. X is what percent of Y? X by Y into 100. Now what is X in our case? A in 2000. Total votes of A in 2000. Total votes of A in 2000 is 2500. What is Y in our case? Valid votes of C in 2010. Valid votes of C in 2010 is 6750. That's it. These are the two numbers. X is 2500. Y is 6750. What do you have to do? X by Y into 100. So 2500 divided by 6750 into 100. A smart person or a smart student will not write this on paper. He will write 250 by 675 into 100 because he knows that zeros will anyway get cancelled. So why do you want to write the two zeros first and then do this cancellation, right? You will be wasting 1 to 2 seconds of your time in just doing that crap there. Directly write 250 by 675, or even better if you can divide directly and put the values. So this is like 25 into 10. This will be 25 into 27. See, 25 into 25 is 625. Again, split and merge. See, what is happening mentally with me is I am splitting it and then merging it. 675 is not 675. It is 625 plus 50. 625 by 25 is 25. 50 by 25 is 2. 25 plus 2, 27. That's the result. But it has to be done mentally. This part has to be done mentally. So anyway, the solution will be 10 by 27. 10 upon 27 into 100. Now, in my view, you will be wasting your time if you start multiplying 10 with 100. And then you say the answer is 1000 by 27. And then you start the division. Waste of time. Don't do this. You should never worry about this 100 at all. Right? I mean, try and avoid it in your calculation. What you should only look at is 10 by 27 can be what percentage? 10 by 27 can be what percentage? 10 by 27 can be what percentage? How do you do that now? See, 10 by 27. Finally, I'm looking at that fraction 10 upon 27. 10 upon 27. You know that percentage is nothing but a fraction. Percentage is a fraction where the denominator is 100. Right? So if 10 by 27 is a fraction, what percentage is it? Denominator should be treated as 100, which means 27 in our case is 100%. 27 is 100%. If 27 is 100%, what will be 10%? 2.7. Explanation may take a little bit of time, but if you understand the concept and do this calculation in the fashion that I'm explaining you, I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to arrive at the answers faster, right? Always treat the denominator as 100%. Always treat the denominator as 100%. So according to our understanding here, 100% is 27. If 100% is 27, what will be 10%? 2.7. What is the numerator? Numerator is 10. Now try and understand, multiplying 2.7 by what will bring you close to 10? By multiplying 2.7 with what can you get as close as possible to 10? I think see 2.7 into 4. Now this is again your numerical skills, right? Multiply this by 4. What happens? 10% into 4 is 40%. 2.7 into 4 will be 10.8. See 2.5 into 4 is 10. 0.2 into 4 is 0.8. Again, everything is split and merge. Every single step of your calculation is split and merge. Every single step is split and merge. Yeah. I am saying 2.7 is not 2.7. 2.7 is 2.5 plus 0.2. So 2.5 into 4 is 10. 0.2 into 4 is 0.8. 10.8. So the observation is our denominator 27 is 100%. The numerator is 10. I know that 10.8 is equivalent to 40%. If the numerator was 10.8, answer would have been 40%. If If the numerator is 10.8, answer will be 40%. What is the actual numerator? Actual numerator is less than 10.8. Actual numerator is less than 10.8. So answer should be less than 40%. Approximate calculation. We are trying to eliminate the wrong answers, right? If the numerator is 10.8, then the answer would be 40%. But the actual numerator is less than 10.8. So answer should be less than 40%. Immediately option 4, option 5 gets cancelled. And option 3 also gets, option 1 also gets cancelled. I mean, it should be less and it should be very close to 40%. So the question now is it 35 or 37? Now, I would say this case maybe only 3 options have got eliminated. But let's say if we are able to eliminate 4 options, then whatever is left out is the correct answer. Now we have to decide between 35 and 37. We have to decide between 35 and 37. So try and do a little more precise calculation. Maybe just try one more step and you will know which is correct. Is it 35 or 37? Or do it differently. But the whole idea is whenever you have a fraction, try to treat the denominator as 100%. And based on that, try to come as close as possible to the numerator. Yeah? I mean, because I've gone through enough numbers, because I've practiced enough, which I do every day, even today, I know that the answer will be 37 and not 35. I'm pretty sure that the answer cannot be 35. It may be a little difficult for the freshers to understand this, but if you follow our videos, if you go back and check our videos, you will know that answer cannot be 35%. I mean, just following the videos will not help. You should also have practiced enough. Because 35% for 27, in my view, will be, 30% of 27 will be 8.1 plus 5% of 27 will be 1.35. So 8.1 and 1.35 is 9.45. If it is 9.45, then it is 35%. This is more than 9.45. So answer should be more than 35%. And that is the reason answer is 37. This happened mentally. This is what came to my mind mentally. I'm not putting it on paper. I mean, I'm putting it here so that I can explain it to you. But this is what you should realize. You're able to follow. All these numbers should kind of, you should keep splitting the numbers. I'm repeating, the whole technique is about split and merge. Most of the calculations can be done using this concept of split and merge. Try to keep breaking the numbers. I mean, I'm breaking 10 in terms of, multiples of 2.7. So 10 can be taken as 8.1, which is 30% of 2.7. Then I'm taking 1.35. 1.35 is 5% of 2.7. How do I know? See, 10% is 2.7. So 5% will be half of 10%. Half of 2.7 is 1.35. So this is 30%, this is 5%, 35%. 35% is 9.45. But the actual numerator is more than 9.45, which means the answer should be more than 35. The only value which is more than 35 and less than 40, more than 35 and less than 40 in these options is 37. You getting it? Yeah, answer should be 37. I really appreciate your feedback. I mean, Sid Shaw here says that if you do it in mind, we can't catch your speed, to be frank. I agree, and I'm sure Nasima Banu also agrees. Yeah, but unless you start really doing it yourself, then even then you'll not be able to catch up. So the point I'm trying to make is, see, don't try to what should I say? Don't try to catch up with me, but catch up the method, right? Split is the idea. Split and merge is the idea. Keep breaking the numbers. And the only way to get efficient here is to practice more. The more you practice, the easier it gets, right? I know I have spent a lot of time in just a simple calculation 10 by 27, but I was explaining it to you, right? When you do it yourself, I think within no time you'll be able to eliminate the 4 options. Within no time you eliminate the first 4 options and you know what is the correct answer there, right? Anyway, let's move to the next one, which is on your screens now. Archana says, please do regular live classes. We are awaiting for every Wednesday. Well, you don't really have to wait for Wednesdays, Archana. You can check out our programs where we have not 1 but 4 live classes every week. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday. Next question is there on your screens. I'm waiting for your responses. Meanwhile, we have Siddhartha Chakraborty who says, in the events calendar, this class didn't show up. Somehow I came on your YouTube channel and got to know that a live class is going on. I'm really disappointed since I missed some part of the class. Well, Siddhartha, I can understand your concern here, and apologies for that. It didn't show up in the events calendar because this is a public session, right? What shows up in your events calendar, Siddhartha, looks like Siddhartha is an enrolled student of TalentSprint. So what really shows in your events calendar that you have in our dashboard, TalentSprint's dashboard, is the other live classes that we have on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays and whatever, right? But I take your feedback. I think we'll be better off including this also in the events calendar, which you will do immediately. But don't worry, you have not missed any part of this class. I mean, while you have missed it, you don't really miss it because we will add the recorded version of this class into your account tomorrow itself. So you can watch that. Answers? Answers. All right, answers have started coming in. 42.5, 36.5, 42.5. Yeah, I think most of you have got 42.5. Vikash Kumar, Mishra, Harini, Archana, Shrishti, then Maharsh Devraj, Nitish. Rahul Pandey has got 36.5. 36.5 is not there in the options at all. Yeah. Mayur, by the way, says that we have to act like these in the exam. So the method is best. Yes, actually I'm trying to emulate the way you have to perform in the exam, right? You have to be really quick. In fact, this also is a waste of time in my view. So much of paperwork and all that. But cut it down. I think the whole idea is cut it down. And you'll get the answers really quick. 39.5. Kondaya has got 39.5, which is option 1. Deepthi has also got 39.5. Ashwin has got 37.75, which is option 5. So you guys are really confused with this one, huh? And somebody there, Abhirami has got 41.25. So except 46.75, all the other options have been marked here. I mean, by someone or the other, right? 39.5, 42.5 is of course the most common response that I see. Then one or two of you have marked 41.25, and then others have marked 37.75. So looks like this is the one where you got stuck. Now I'm sure the question is easy. What is complex here is the calculation. You are not able to arrive at that common answer. So let me show it to you, right? See what the question says. Valid votes polled in village C in 2005. Now look at the number immediately. Village C 2005 valid. 2005 village C valid is 4,600. So let me replace this whole phrase with 4,600. I mean, the phrase doesn't really matter. I'm interested in the number. So 4,000 is by what percent less? Is by what percent less? Less than total votes polled by B in 2000. Now what is total votes polled by B in 2000? Total B in 2000. What is it? Total votes polled by B in 2000. So in 2000 B total is 8,000. Right? Valid of C in 2005 is 4,600. Total of B in 2000 is 8,000. So I can replace the second part with 8,000 now. So what does the question now become? 4,600 is by what percent less than 8,000? 4,600 is by what percent less? See, be careful. Usually where we go wrong while answering these questions is if you don't read the word valid. Instead of valid votes, if you take the total votes of C. Total votes of C in 2005 is 5,000, but he's asking us to take up valid votes. So be careful when you're picking up the values, right? Then total votes of B in 2000 is 8,000. So if you don't take up the values properly, then you will be definitely getting a wrong answer, right? So valid votes of C in 2005 is what percent less than total votes of B in 2000. We have got the numbers. 4,600 is by what percent less than 8,000. Now this is another common question type from percentages. The previous one that we had done was X is what percent of Y. This is X is what percent more or less. Here we have got less, but it can be more also, right? So X is what percent more or less than Y. How do you solve such questions? X is what percent more or less than Y? X difference Y or X minus Y by Y into 100. That's the calculation. X is what percent of Y? X by Y into 100. The previous one, right? X is what percent of Y? X by Y into 100. X is what percent more or less than Y? Right? X Y से कितना percentage more या less है? जब हमें ये करना हो, what will you take? Numerator will become X minus Y. Otherwise the numerator is X, simply X. And remember, always with respect to Y, the calculation is with respect to Y. Denominator में Y जाएगा. Than Y, right? We are comparing with Y. The comparison is with respect to Y. So denominator में you have to take Y. So what is X in our case? 4,600. What is Y? 8,000. Now X minus Y. X minus Y is 3,400. In fact, minus 3,400. So don't panic that I'm getting a negative answer. X minus Y will be what? 4,600 minus 8,000, which is minus 3,400. Now what does this negative sign indicate? Denominator anyway is 8,000. What does the negative sign indicate? The negative sign indicates that it is less. If you get a positive sign, that means it's more. Anyway, from the question itself, we know that it's going to be less, right? So don't worry about the negative sign. Sign doesn't matter. Magnitude is important. So 3,400 by 8,000. X minus y by y into 100, right? 3,400 by 8,000. Now do the calculation. See, in fact, I would say don't waste now time in cancelling these zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0. Don't cancel that. What is 100%? 8,000. So what will be 10%? 800. Try to break 3,400 in terms of 800. So I think it will become 3,200 plus 200. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. Now what is this 3,200? 3,200 is 800 into 4. 800 into 4. 800 into 4. 3,200. 800 is 10%. So 10% into 4, 40%. So answer is 40% plus something. 40% plus something. So definitely the answer should be more than 40%. First option, second option, fifth option gets eliminated. More than 40, we have got 41.25, 42.5, 46.75. 46.75 is also not in the range. It should be either 41.25 or 42.5. So I think do one more step. 200. 200 is what percentage? See, I know that 10% is 800. 10% is 800. So 200 is how much? Just look at it proportionately. 200 is 1/4 of 800. 800 by 4. 800 by 4 will give you 200. So 10 by 4, 2.5. Right? 800 by 4 is 200. So similarly 10 by 4, 2.5. This will be 2.5%. So we have 40% plus 2.5%, 42.5%. Option 2 is the precise answer.